Hey everybody, I'm doing this handheld because I just wanted to give you a quick look into the shoot that we're doing. It's a lookbook shoot for coats, and I think there's a dress or a couple vests in there as well, but it's for the fall season. And I wanted to give you an idea of what we're using for the shoot. So let me just flip this. So this is my main light. I'm using an AD300. Now I'm throwing an LED into the umbrella just to throw some light out because I don't want to use the lights in the studio, the overhead lights. And then up here is the fill light, and this is the AD100 Pro. I really want to, this is like the first full heavy shoot, commercial shoot that I'm doing with these lights. I want to see how they do. And I have another LED up here. And again, that won't affect the photos at all. It's just, for focus, for the eyes, and for the video too a little bit, but it would be completely dark because we do have the shade closed because we want to control the light and the color value and so forth. Let me just flip this around. And then on the side here, what I'm doing, it's a straight white background, very simple, but then I'm using V-flats. The one V-flat's in the back here, and that's going to throw fill on the backdrop itself. And then I have a black V-flat here, and what that does is it absorbs some of the light, so we get some 3D lighting on the face and so forth. I'll give you an overall look here. Just so you can get an idea of how this is set up. It's very simple, very basic. But anyway, like I said, the main reason for this video is just to see how the AD300 does and the AD100 does during this kind of shoot. There's 65 plus coats here. Some are reversible. So probably 10 shots for each coat, maybe a little more, so we're looking in the 750 range. So we'll see how the battery power is, how they hold up, how the color tone is and so forth. And I'll give you a look at the shoot and we'll see how it all does. Anyway, enjoy the shoot, and hopefully these lights do good. I'm hoping they handle the work.
Well, I just wanted to give you a peek into the commercial shoot with these two lights, the AD100 Pro and the AD300 Pro. Now, this model I've never shot with before, so I brought her in before the designer and the stylist, just so we can work together and get to know each other for 30 minutes before the stylist comes in. That was the color card I always shoot prior to a shoot, so I have a reference throughout, because none of the lights are going to change. And if I do have to change a light, I just reshoot it. Even if it's the same light and I'm just changing out the same light, I reshoot it. And surprisingly, through this shoot, I did have to replace the AD100, and I just swapped them out because I have two of them, and there was an overheating issue, and it wasn't too far into it that the heat warning came on, and then once the heat warning comes on, it starts to misfire. So now the AD300, the main light, that did fantastic. There was no misses. It lasted the whole shoot on one battery, and we're talking over 800 shots at 1/2 power. The AD100 Pro, the battery was fine on it, but it just started overheating, a little bit in. So, it was a pain. I had to climb up the ladder, swap it out from the current one, and I would let it cool down and use the other one. But it worked. So. Not thrilled with that part of the AD100. I was happy with the results. I was happy with the power that it put out. It was consistent. I did upgrade the filter on it, so the color correction was done. Now this is the stylist and the designer coming in. She's one and the same, the young lady with the dark hair, and the blonde is just the second model we're using for the shoot because we wanted to use two different looks for some of the coats. And now I'm using the Canon R5 with the 50mm f1.2. I'm shooting that at, I believe, 4.5. man, I'll tell you what, the files were just spectacular out of this shoot. I have no complaints with the camera or that lens whatsoever. You have to shoot down, as much as you want the style and, the look. The designer does not want that. They want to see every fiber of that clothing or the coats in this case. Now, working with a stylist it makes life so much easier because literally, if they're a good stylist, I don't have to leave the camera. They will do everything. We'll look at the photos. Now, in the beginning, you saw the model that I'm shooting now with shiny pants, and we pulled that up on this big screen, and she said, absolutely, we have to change these pants because they're too distracting to the coats. So that was the only change with this, and they do have different outfits and different shoes and so forth. But anyway, the shoot went really, really well. Again, the AD100 Pro, that is a headache. No ifs, ands, or buts. I just wanted to pull in and show you the quality of this camera and lens. It was pretty impressive for a commercial shoot like this. And now the lookbooks that we do with these aren't really that big. I don't believe they go over 5 by 7 inches. So plenty of resolution, even zoomed in. And I shoot everything full just in case. So she has the ability to crop. This is one just cropped into what she usually crops them into. And they're great. And all these are right out of camera. Nothing was done to them, not even color corrected. They're just straight out of camera. I just wanted to give you, exactly what these things look like right out of camera with this lighting setup. And it really was a basic lighting setup. There was nothing major, just a main light, which was the AD300, and the fill light, which was the AD100. I do plan on swapping out the AD100 for the AD300 because, going a whole shoot like this, nonstop, the AD300 didn't miss, and it didn't overheat, and one battery lasted the whole shoot. And again, that was at half power, so I'm very impressed with it. I'm happy the way the shoot came out. And like I said, the AD100, I'm for casual shooting, I think it's going to be great. I love the little light. But, for a full shoot like this, for it to overheat twice, I had to swap them out twice. It was a pain. So anyway, here's just a couple quick shots from the shoot. And yes, they're boring, but this is what pays the bills. So have a great day. If you have any questions, leave them below.